What's going on, collectors? Optical 20 here for another Hot Toys video review. This time it's from the movie Clash of the Titans. It's an older figure and it's already sold out, but you can buy other Clash of the Titans figure at bigbadtoystore.com. Just click the link on the description. And as far as the packaging, like I said, this is an older figure, so you would expect a better quality from as far as packaging from Hot Toys. It's still the normal slip-on cover, but there's a little bit of effort put into it. As you can see there, it's a beautiful packaging. There's some holes in the box, and even on the back it shows Perseus right there. So to speak, nowadays you get this shoebox type with just a regular, stuff in it. But this one of the better packaging that I've seen. This guy and with the Alice that I reviewed recently. I picked them up pretty much at the same time, and I'm pretty impressed with the packaging that they chose. On the back, this is on the side, collector's edition, MMS 122 Perseus, Clash of the Titans. I wish they would have done more from the line. I know the movie wasn't that great for some other people, but for me, it's okay. I enjoyed it. And as we take this off, as you can see, the figure is not there anymore. I don't even own the figure anymore. I sold it to my good buddy Rob. As much as I want to keep him, I needed the space. But this is a nice figure to have. If there's any figure that I would buy again, down the line, if I decided to, I would say, have a bigger space or whatnot, this would be one of them. And Barney Ross, those are the two figures that I don't necessarily regret, but if I had a chance, I would have kept them. They're beautiful figures, especially this one comes with a tons of accessories. Not tons, but enough, I would say, to enough for the character to keep it fresh. And back in the day, they don't have much hands, and the hands are not that I would say detailed. And they have this weird thing on the thumb, as you can see. But the funny thing is, I just recently got Loki from the Dark World. Normally it does have the older ones at least has this kind of like a separation in the thumb. You didn't see it here, but you'll see it on the main one. And Loki has that too, so I don't know what happened there. But as far as the as the stand, Clash of the Titans, just regular base. It does come with two sets of swords. So one of them is, I believe this is his his normal sword, and the other one was the one that was given to him by Zeus. It's not die-cast, it's plastic. Nice detail though. It has nice. I wish it had some weathering on it. But like I said, this is an older one, so don't expect the same quality as the new ones from Hot Toys, because they constantly improved. But I don't think this is one of the figures that they would revisit down the line, just because there's not a whole lot of market for it. I think this is a dead franchise in their point of view, and I don't blame them. This guy didn't sell well either. Even on the secondary market, it would go as high as, I would say, 300, but that's gonna be a stretch. Most people wouldn't buy this for 300. I would say I was gonna say 250. Would be a fair price, since it's kind of rare now. But that's only if you're a big fan of the film, or because the figure itself, it's not bad. The accessories, like I said, it's pretty decent, to be quite honest with you. It's a good relief. You can see two swords. There's nice details on there. Even on the markings on the sword, kind of like reminds me of Gamora's sword. You can see there, and it's also made out of plastic. So, which is a good and bad thing, because it doesn't add to the weight, so it's not a horrible thing to have. And as far as the shield, it's a big boy shield. I'm not gonna lie, it's big and heavy. It's made out of plastic, but it's really solid. It does have a lot of texture in it. This is supposed to be the Scorpion's I don't know, something, his shell or something like that. So it does capture it really well. It's, like I said, it's made out of plastic, but it's heavy. That's why for the most part I didn't pose him with this one, because he would slowly bend over while he's carrying this shield, which is a bit annoying, so to speak, when he's standing just in a regular cradle. And he does have this feather that, it's kind of like a bag you can put over his shoulder. It's supposed to be a 1/6 scale, which it is, but I mean, it's okay. It just doesn't look right when you put it on his shoulders, and this is where you're supposed to put a Medusa's head. As you can see there, I mean, it does work for the most part, but I wish it would have been tailored a little bit more, I would say better. I think it's a lot bigger than what it's supposed to be, but it's okay. It does its purpose. I don't see anyone who has this. Maybe you can display him with this one, but it's kind of weak because it's thin and Medusa's head is a bit heavy. So right there, I would say this is the best accessory so far. It's a lot of details on it. I'm not sure if it's movie accurate because when the movie came out, this one is CG obviously, but the CG back then wasn't that great either. So it's a bad, I would say, interpretation if you kind of compare it to that one. But as far as a standalone toy or an accessory, I think it's terrific. There's a lot of snakes obviously, and they're highly detailed, for the texture of the skin. The snake, it's a bit on the heavy side, so, and look at that, all that blood and stuffs in her mouth, fangs, highly detailed. Even the eyes, it's just all black, and you can see the skin right there, the texture of her skin and her teeth. I just want to get up close there, see all the bloods and everything. Oh, that's little snakes on her hair. Pretty awesome, awesome piece right here. Nice to have on. This is something that's not gonna stay in the box for sure. If you have this figure, you have to display Medusa's head, whether he's holding it or in his feet. It's too nice. It's too nice to be left inside the box. And like I said, this is the highlight, I would say, of the accessories. One thing I do wish it does come with is a predominantly handle. It doesn't have a handle, so on the prototype pictures you see him holding this, but you kind of have to maneuver yourself around, holding one of those snakes, which is sometimes will come out as a bit of an awkward pose. And as far as the figure itself, it's nice. He does come with sandals, as you can see. For the most part, his body is exposed, so you would see some joints. He doesn't have a double jointed elbow to hide those joints, but for the most part, it's pretty well articulated. As you can see, that thumb right there, that's the separation that I've been talking about. I guess for the older Hot Toys, they do come with that, but surprisingly, my Dark World Loki has one too. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird instance right there. The armor itself, it has a nice texture. Nice paint apps. Looks like a rusted metal, although it's plastic. So you take away, because it's a solid piece of plastic, you take away the ab articulation. That is his like forearm guard. It's made out of plastic, but the thread is real. He does have some shin guards right there too with sandals. I know the sandals is popular for customs and whatnot, so that's a good thing. You turn him around. He has a lot of I would say real materials like these threads right here, and they actually do work, especially on the back of his armor, because you can kind of tighten or loosen it up. You can see there's a bit of weathering, and his inside shirt is nicely made out of fabric. Can you remove the armor? Yes you could. I've seen it. Some people on eBay are selling it, just the armor itself. But I'm assuming that would be unnecessary if you do that, or if you have an extra spare, then go ahead. But I wouldn't go to the trouble of doing that. And also, as you can see, his sandals with a shin guard. This actually works. It kind of tightens it and loosen it up, so you can remove it, sell it if you wanted to. Yeah, nice overall figure. Even the armor. It does hinder some articulation, but I'm guessing you don't need much of any advanced poses with this guy. Mostly standing or holding his sword or shield. As you can see, he has some hair in his arms, which is a lot more not detailed, or a lot less detailed than what you can see from Hot Toys nowadays. But you gotta remember, this is an older figure, so you can't expect the same level of quality that Hot Toys normally produces nowadays. And that goes with the head sculpt. The head sculpt, it's not as bad as people make it out to be. I've seen on forums saying that this doesn't look like the actor himself, the same actor that portrayed Jake Sully from Avatar. I forgot his name, but yeah, I think it resembles him pretty good. It depends on the lighting and the amount of details. As you can see, there's the details is pretty good for its time. It's a lot better than most. Yeah, and he has something on his neck too. I don't know what that is. Something about Hot Toys production. But the hair is okay. I'm not a big fan of this neck joint. Obviously, I wanted to kind of like go into the chin, the back of the ear and whatnot. But yes, this 5 o'clock shadow. The eyes is a bit piercing. I would say it's a bit unrealistic, so that could have improved. Hairline is okay. The overall, he does look like him. Is it perfect? Is it 100%? No. But like I said, you can't expect the level of detail, because nowadays you can see, especially with the RoboCop, which is spot on. But this one, for its time, and even up to now, I think it's holding its own. Yet, although it's not really perfect, I can say it can use a little bit more texture. But if you're taking a photograph of this figure on the proper lighting, it would work. Yeah. So even this one, I'm well lit, and I think it still looks great. Not perfect, but I think it looks great. I think it's the hair. It's kind of a bit of a toyish, the way it's been built. And as far as we're gonna throw a couple of poses before we wrap this thing up. This is him holding 2 swords. He does come with his what do you call this? There's not a sheath, but you can put the sword on his side. But it's kind of funny because it's interfering with this little tassels on his I don't want to call it skirt, but yeah. But you could, so you can have him holding one sword on one hand and maybe a shield on the other hand, or Medusa's head, and then just put the sword on his side. So it's not being wasted. But yeah, as far as poses, because of the limitation of the abs and ankle has a lot of movement on it. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about earlier about I guess you can have him hold Medusa's head on one of the snakes, but I wish there's a proper way of doing it. Maybe I'm doing the proper way, I don't know, but the head is heavy and the hand would slowly go down. That's why you can see him kind of tilted up his body, so it would held up, because it's like I said, the head is heavy, and then the shield is heavy too, and the figure is not too stable on his waist, so you gotta tighten up that armor right there, which, as you can see from the back, that's how you do it. But overall, these are the poses that you would expect from this figure. He goes nicely quite well with if you have the custom, I think it's the ACI Troy, the Brad Pitt figure, or if you have the Leonidas, that would not make a nice display. But yeah, that should be it. It's not much. It's still a beautiful figure after all this year. So if you're a big fan of the movie, you can grab this in the secondary market, or you can grab the if you're not a big fan of how it looks like, there's a Sideshow statue, I guess, it's on clearance right now at Big Bad, so I think it goes for around 200. But I'm not into statues, so 1/6 is my collection. So if you are like me, there's you can get this on eBay or local shop or whatnot. It shouldn't be that expensive. Anything more than 250, I would pass. Ideally, you want to get this for 200 or less. That's how much I sold it for 200. And actually it's less, yeah. But if you can get it for that price, why not? And it looks good in your collection. I don't have anything like this, so it's mostly Marvel and DC. That's why I sold it. But given the chance, I would pick him up once again. So all right, so thank you for watching, and please like or subscribe this video. And until next time.